Yeah. It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
All right, I restarted. I restarted the line because we got reported. Okay. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I got reported. I have no clue what it is. I don't even have the gavel any longer. I've dialed it back, but obviously you all now see why I have to be one of the more measured content creators, and I don't know why it is, but we'll just go ahead and say it's because of the Riz. And so what I'll say is this: if I have any of you Trump voters out there that are just in your feelings this morning, do me a favor and leave right now. Go hang out with the fake TikTok host. We don't need you over here, all right? Because what I'm going to do is going to make you very, very uncomfortable. I promise you it will. But get this: you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Right.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too.
Yeah.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they've officially closed. I take no responsibility for feelings that might get hurt. I got to do a job this morning, and that's just what it is, all right? And so what I don't want is the snowflake MAGA male species to just start all of a sudden going in, especially the women too, going in and just starting to report me. You don't need to report me, all right? Just go on about your day, all right? I already know your day ain't really worth anything, all right? Because you're over here listening to me and you're trying to figure out how you ended up lost, following along with somebody who you all know is a very, very terrible person. So what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen. What we'll do is we'll start off with this. I want to make sure, and I don't want to let this go. I'm not going to let it go. I want to make sure I remind you Trump voters, and especially the black folks out there that support Donald Trump, what type of time I'm on when it comes to dealing with you, all right? So I want to remind you, I was in Indianapolis, and I told you about the Triple K dude, D.C. Stevenson. He's just a terrible, evil person. And I wanted to make sure I keep emphasizing this point. It's not just fascism. It's also a hybrid of that and the Triple K. This is what MAGA stands for. And so this phrase, law and order, I want to make sure I keep repeating this to everybody out there. Law and order, I'm going to give you, and you can go look it up. Prove me wrong. Law and order, this is a phrase that's part of the Triple K's rhetoric, all right? And they used it to justify actions aimed at maintaining white supremacy and suppressing perceived threats established in the social hierarchy, right? And so, for instance, during its formation in the Reconstruction era, following the American Civil War, the organization positioned itself as defender of law and order in a white-dominated society. This framing continued into the 1920s resurgence of the Triple K when leaders emphasized a commitment to law and order while promoting the white supremacist ideologies, often partnering with local institutions such as churches and conducting charity drives to bolster their public image. So what I'm doing, and this is for Blagga, I want you to understand that when you're out here advocating for your dear leader, and he uses the phrase law and order, what he's really saying is, yeah, go ahead to the folks that are, the white Christians, Protestants, put those white hoods and go ahead and terrorize those ignorant brothers and sisters that continue to support me because they don't understand.
Duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do.
Yeah. You hear this?
All Americans were rightly sickened
yeah.
and revolted
yeah.
by the brutal death of George Floyd. My administration is fully committed that for George and his family, justice will be served. He will not have died in vain.
But hear this.
But we cannot allow the righteous cries of peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob. The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our poorest communities. And as their president, I will fight to keep them safe.
Here goes.
I will fight to protect you.
Here goes.
I am your president of law and order.
You hear that? You hear that? He's your president of law and order. This is when George Floyd was, unalived by the Triple K. But he's your president of law and order. See, this is why the Bible says my people perish for a lack of knowledge, because we got some folks out here that forgot all about this, and they're giving it to them. They're saying, you know what, I don't like myself and I don't like my country. Go ahead and disrespect me. Let's go to this year, all right, in June. What did Donald Trump say?
California, are you prepared to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Depends on whether or not there's an insurrection. No, but you have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
What is the purpose of your meetings with Camp David in the next 24
We're going
hours?
up to Camp David. We have meetings with various people about very major subjects. So we thought we'd do it at Camp David.
Yeah.
There's probably better security there than any place.
Yeah.
We'll be meeting with a lot of people, including generals, as you know, and admirals.
But if you're not planning to invoke that Insurrection Act, you still plan to send troops?
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart like it was under Biden and his auto pen.
What is the bar for sending Marines to
The bar is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order.
There you go. You hear him say it again. Law and order. You hear this? Blagger. Law and order. Again, it's a phrase the Triple K used to unleash terror on you and your ancestors. If I were a blagger out there, I'd be so embarrassed to actually admit that I voted for Donald Trump. But you do it anyway. You're doing it out of ignorance. And so what I'm here to do is educate you and understand. When you're running around here upholding the white supremacy, it really just grind my gears. And I actually have an instance of that happening, and I'll get to that, and I'll also get to the judgment, because it's treason at the highest order, and it's actually self-hate at the same time. All right, and this is another example of Donald Trump using that phrase "law and order." All right,
In life, with a magnificent future in this country, and now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand.
wow,
24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors.
wow.
50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order.
You hear that? Law and order. A phrase that the Triple K used to go around and terrorize people of color, women, anybody they felt was a threat to the white supremacy. So what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't bother me. What I'll do is this: I'll warm up the lake of fire for all of you ignorant folks out there, especially Blagger. And if I'm wrong, I'll apologize, because I'm Triple H. But y'all get out here and y'all pull this white supremacy, acting like we don't see you for what you are. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these folks out there, along with their dear leader, straight to hell.
Silence, you knocker.
Am I my brother's keeper? I just might be. And that gets me to this next part, because we got to do it. We had an example. This is why I had to play that, because this is actually happening in America right now. We have black men out here dancing on TikTok because Donald Trump isn't funding the EBT program. And you know what I mean when I say that. They're actually celebrating. They're dancing in stores, right? And I can play this, but I'm going to let this brother, all right? He's going to speak on it better than I can, and then we'll get straight to judgment, all right? Let me see if I can get this guy up here. This is the yeah. This is the brother in there dancing. You may have seen this video, but I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do.
A society of trash-ass human beings.
Listen up. He dancing.
Garbage humans.
Garbage.
You know what it took for that dude to make that video?
What?
He got up, made a conscious decision. showered, put on clothes. He literally put on a sweatshirt with a cross, and on the back it said, Jesus saves. He got in traffic, wasted gas, went to a store where there was a bunch of food, set up a camera, made sure he got the proper angle and the lighting and everything, and did a dance making fun of people not being able to eat. He made fun of children starving. Garbage, motherfuckers. Let me tell you something. And I want to make sure I say this clearly. That orange dude is one person. My disappointment in humanity isn't just from him. It's from people like this. It's from cruel ass motherfuckers like this. It's from people like this who hide behind that shield of religion and pretend to be better people when y'all are lower than the dirt on the belly of cockroaches. Y'all are fucking disgusting. That period. Full stop. What part of the Bible, by the way, says thou shalt make fun of people starving? What? Because I don't know the Bible like you do, bro. What part of the Bible says it's okay for you to do what you did? Whether you're doing it for clicks, views, whatever you're doing it for. That ain't a flex. That just shows you a disgusting person. That just shows you cruel. This is why people leave religion, by the way. This is why people question anytime somebody says they are a Christian or they follow any kind of religious belief. What Jesus would be okay with you doing this? Tell me what Jesus that you know or that you follow would be sitting there rocking with you, dancing and stepping as people go hungry. Like I said, that orange dude being garbage is one thing.
Yeah.
I get more depressed by seeing people like this.
Yeah, me too.
Because you made a choice to be this person.
Toxic.
You don't make... Oh.
Go ahead, brother. Get it out. Get it
I don't know
out.
how the fuck we got here.
Yeah. I'll tell you how we got here. I'll help you get in it. Apparently, we have some folks out there that when they look in the mirror, they don't see what Michael Jackson sung about, the man in the mirror. They see somebody. They see the... Oh, I think he took... Oh, they see the man in the mirror. Oh, that's something I just thought of. Oh, wow. They don't see the man in the mirror. They see the man in the mirror. And this is why I got to do this show. I got to do it because you took a Michael Jackson song and you've disgraced it. You've disgraced yourself. You hate yourself. You hate your country. So I have no other choice but to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire. This is for all them brothers and sisters out there that when they look in the mirror, they don't see the man in the mirror. They see the man in the mirror. Hey, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And that's a huge W. That's a huge W, Zeus, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And I'm going to get into the 60-minute interview in short order, but there's a couple of things that I want to make sure we address. All right. And look at MAGA. They're crying. MAGA's crying. No, don't cry, MAGA. Don't cry. No, because remember yesterday we were all on a live, and what were all those Trump supporters we were arguing with doing? Oh, they were bringing up Donald Trump's poll numbers in terms of the shutdown. And guess what they used, ladies and gentlemen? We all saw them. They used what? CNN? Well, guess what, MAGA? We got some updates from CNN, and it doesn't take long to do this. All right. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and then we'll get straight to judgment, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take long to expose these hypocrites.
This morning, a brand new CNN poll out just minutes ago on the eve of key off-year elections.
Yeah.
With us now is CNN's Washington bureau chief and political director David Chalian.
Watch this, MAGA.
D-Chow, we got big numbers here on the president's approval rating, which I guess really is upside down at historic levels.
It is, John, and just consider this brand new CNN poll sort of a mood ring, if you will, as we head into Election Day tomorrow and that we're 1 year away from the midterms. That approval rating for the president, it is at a low point of his second term. 37% of Americans in our poll approve of the job Trump is doing. 63% disapprove. Take a look at his approval in this term over time. You see here, he was up hovering near 50% in his honeymoon after the inauguration, and it has been going down pretty steadily since, now at 37%. And also, just to give a sense here of how Americans are reacting to what he's doing, Trump has gone too far when it comes to using presidential power. 61% of our poll respondents say that is true. Trump has gone too far deporting undocumented immigrants. 57% say that is true. That's up from February. In fact, this question, Norah O'Donnell asked him on 60 Minutes last night. He said the exact opposite. He thinks it doesn't go far enough. The American people disagree, according to our new poll.
You said use this poll as a kind of mood ring. What is the ring telling you about the mood elsewhere?
What is it telling you?
Well, we sort of do that directional. How are things going in the country?
Yeah.
Only 32% of Americans, John, say they're going well.
Only 32%. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wow. Look at that. We got another restriction. Wow. MAGA is just really in their feelings. They're really in their feelings this morning. I haven't even gotten this thing off the ground. So what made your feelings get hurt this morning, MAGA? Was it the lecture I gave you on Law and Order, or is it the poll numbers? Wow. Y'all just, man, it is what it is. So I'm just going to keep moving along because I don't got all day to play around on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these crybabies straight to hell because they don't want to admit the truth. They don't want to admit Donald Trump is unpopular. He's the most unpopular president ever. And they're following an unpopular president all the way to hell. It's with great pleasure I do this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send them. They're crying.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
What I also want to do is this, and this is just another example. And Dr. Keisha, she pointed this out. She pointed this out last week. Dr. Keisha Davis, she pointed this out last week. We got to go ahead and send our condolences to this poor monkey in Mississippi. A Trump supporter, I know it was a Trump supporter. They decided to end this monkey's life simply because the monkey was following RFK's advice. And this just shows you that these folks, they don't understand how ignorant they look. They would rather unalive a monkey than to simply go get the vaccines that they need. All right. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and let you understand what happened. All right.
Another monkey that escaped after a crash in Mississippi has been killed. A
What?
homeowner told reporters she saw it on her property. She said she was worried it could be carrying diseases, so she grabbed her gun and shot it. The escape happened when a truck carrying 21 of the monkeys.
So this is why I get upset. Innocent monkey. So the monkey didn't want to get vaccinated. Now she grabs a pew-pew and decides that this monkey's life is no longer important because all of a sudden she's concerned about her not wanting to get infected. Well, ma'am, if you're so concerned about not wanting to be infected, then why are you supporting an administration that's anti-vaccine? All right. The fact that you don't even want to take the C-19 vaccine tells me, obviously, the monkey is more intelligent than you. At least the monkey has an excuse. You don't. And so what we'll do is this. You shouldn't have ended this innocent monkey's life. The monkey was innocent. All it did was it was already in a bad situation in the back of a truck, and the truck got in an accident. But it doesn't know what it's doing. It's looking for safety. It's looking for bananas. And you decide out of this random place in your mind that you got to protect yourself from a monkey that doesn't give a darn about you because guess what? You don't want to be vaccinated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm saying. We got an ignorant population in this country that just don't get it. You wouldn't have had to do that, ma'am, if you would have simply accepted the truth about science and understand that vaccines are needed. And so what we'll do is this. We'll warm up the lake of fire. This just shows the hypocrisy. This was in Mississippi. And I know they don't like it when I do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending this so-called Christian who unalived a monkey where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, and I want to go ahead and remind you Trump voters out there, we're living in a country right now. Trump's his approval ratings are in the toilet. I'm going to get to this 60-minute interview thing. Air traffic controllers, a lot of federal government employees, they're not getting paid. Our skies aren't as safe as they used to be under Joe Biden. Joe Biden would have never let anything like this happen. Vice President Kamala Harris, she would have never let anything like this happen in our country. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know how we have a country at this point, but I do understand that if it wasn't for the Democrats fighting for us to have a country, yeah, we would be no longer. And so I want to give a round of applause to all the Democrats. Joe Biden would never ever let anything like this happen on our watch. Now we're going to move on because I don't got much time to this CNN. I mean not CNN, CBS. The CBS interview that Donald Trump. He really the CBS, they need to be sued again. They need to be sued again because the cover up that CBS did yesterday. I keep saying CNN. The cover up that CBS did yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, it just shows you the hypocrisy of Donald Trump and his administration. So the first thing I wanted to do is let's talk about a couple of things that he covered yesterday. Now, everybody and they mama, they know that the shutdown is Donald Trump's fault. And I like how they start the interview out by asking him, what is he going to do about the shutdown? So let's listen to his lying self talk to us about the shutdown.
As you see, there's traffic snarls out at the airports now. This weekend, food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire.
Yeah.
What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
Yeah.
All we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They've become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote.
So Hakeem,
Senate Democrats say they will vote to reopen the government if Republicans agree to extend subsidies for over 20 million Americans who use Obamacare for their health.
There you go. So why won't the Republicans just agree? If they're saying, well, open it up and then we could talk about it. What is there to talk about? Either you're going to do it or you're not. All right. And the Republicans, they won't come out and say they won't do it because they know that if they say that, that means they got to live up to that or get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. So that's off the table. We also know the Republicans, through Mike Johnson, want the government to be shut down because for some strange reason they can't swear in the woman in Arizona who won a landslide election, Adelita Guharva. I think that's how I pronounce it, but if not, forgive me. But she won. And we need that vote in order to get the discharge petition signed so that we can get to the bottom of these Epstein files. But obviously, the Republican Party, they don't care about protecting children. And Donald Trump, he lied right there because, what are you doing? Well, he should have said, well, I'm redoing the White House. Yeah, I just did the bedroom, spent millions and millions of taxpayers' dollars on that. I've destroyed the East Wing. He should have said those things because that's what I just got done flying all over the world. Oh, yeah, I'm giving Argentina all this money and I'm bringing in beef from Argentina that has potentially foot and mouth disease to go ahead and just do a number on my supporters, right? So Donald Trump gets away with lying as usual, and we're not going to let him, all right? So the next thing that I'm going to talk about, Rick, the next thing that I got to talk about is then he decided to become a little racist in the middle of his interview, and this has to do with Japan. When I heard him say this, I said, now when is MAGA going to call this out?
Japan, he's become
Here he goes. He's talking about Chuck Schumer.
Something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November 15th when the troops don't get a pay cut?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become, I just left Japan, he's become a kamikaze pilot.
Chuck Schumer has become a kamikaze pilot. I just left Japan. Isn't that a little racist? Is that racist, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, because when I hear the sitting president of the United States talk like that, and he's just randomly throwing out all kinds of insults, you just can't help but wonder what happened to the Christians out there that said, we should be able to get along with each other. Look they don't want to admit it. Yeah, that is MAGA for you. Yeah. Chuck Schumer, he calls Chuck Schumer a Palestinian too. He has no problem saying racist things, MAGA, but yeah, y'all want to get upset and report me and get upset with Big Zeus. Okay, fair enough. All right. Now, let's go ahead to the next lie Donald Trump told us. He told us the economy is doing well. I just showed you the poll numbers. All right, 62%, 61%, I don't know. Everyone knows the economy is terrible. Tell somebody right now the economy is doing great. while they've just been furloughed or laid off as a result of the government shutdown, while air traffic controllers are walking out not getting paid. You keep telling us the economy, while the grocery prices are going up, all right? No one believes this guy.
Past week.
Perfect timing for your show. Just hit an all-time high. We're doing really well.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Mr. President, on that point though, when the stock market is doing well, that doesn't affect everybody. Not everybody's invested in the stock market.
It does.
But there have been grocery prices are up.
401ks. People have 401ks. Their 401ks are double what they were a year ago.
But for people that don't have 401ks or are not invested in the stock market,
but
they've seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden. Right now, they're going down. Other than beef, which we're working on, which we can solve very quickly.
On the economy, the signature part of your economic plan is tariffs. The Supreme Court is going to hear arguments this week on whether you have the authority to impose these sweeping tariffs without congressional approval. The lower courts have ruled against you. That's why it's in the Supreme Court right now.
Very close rulings, yeah.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariffs?
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt. I think our economy will go to hell. Look.
Our economy will go to hell, Champ? Everyone knows Donald Trump. The economy is in hell right now. But we also understand it's very hard to get that point across when you got a base of ignorant folks who hate themselves and they hate their country. And so what I'll say is this: if there is actually, Cosmo, if you've been following all of this stuff that's been happening in America, it is going to hell. And don't give me any of the numbers that have come out the Trump administration, because everyone knows, especially during the government shutdown, we're not getting the accurate numbers. All right. You go tell somebody right now, Cosmo, it's doing great and they're not getting their paycheck. They haven't been paid over a month, Cosmo. You go tell the million. Have you ever looked into how many Americans aren't getting paid? How many federal contractors aren't getting paid while you're sitting up here trying to gaslight us? This is worse than any. President Biden, he would have never, ever let anything like this happen. But this isn't even the biggest scandal of the CBS interview by far, because every time he opens his mouth, I know what he's hiding. He's hiding his ankles. He's hiding his ankles the entire interview. And I'll get into that in short order. But I'm surprised. I am so disappointed in CBS for not zooming that camera in on his ankles. Because the ankles will tell me everything I need to know about Donald Trump. I don't need to hear him talk. Show me those ankles. Show us the hand. End of discussion, because everything he says is just a distraction from those very important things that's tied to the president's health. Now, another distraction he tried to bring up was ICE. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. When he said this, I almost fell out of my chair.
Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because...
No, I don't think they've gone far enough. What's further than where we're at right now? MAGA, what's further than where we're at right now? You're already showing us you don't have a problem eliminating people, because what you're doing in the Eastern Pacific and in the Caribbean, right? You know, the military strikes without due process, just unaliving people. So basically, and you pair that with the law and order rhetoric, he's not unaliving people the way he would like to. So that's the issue. And this is why I say no one believes these folks out here who claim to be Christian. They just sit around and pretend, you know what, you're not Christians, you're demons. And we're going to continue to expose you. And again, I'm going to judge them. But the last thing that I'm going to judge them on, at least with this segment, is the auto pen scandal. All right. And this is evidence. And I really do wish Congress and Jake Tapper, now that I think about it, you got to look into this auto pen scandal that Donald Trump, because apparently he's pardoning people and he doesn't even know who these people are.
Essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars.
Hold on.
Cryptocurrency tycoon, who is known as CZ. The company CZ founded, Binance, helped boost the profile of the Trump family's crypto firm, World Liberty Financial.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws.
Right.
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
He doesn't know who he is. Is he lying? Is he lying? Or does he know who this man is? Which one is it? Which one is it? Is there a Trump supporter that can answer this question? Is he lying or does he know who this person is? Exactly. You see how they get quiet? It's a magic trick that I've taught myself on this show. Yeah, if you want to make a Trump supporter disappear, just ask them something about Donald Trump. And guess what? They'll do everything they can to act like they don't exist. Yeah. I'm not going to let that get away. Let's get that on the record again.
To U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that. And I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
In 2025, his crypto exchange Binance helped facilitate a $2 billion purchase of World Liberty Financial's stablecoin. And then you pardoned CZ. How do you address the appearance of pay for play?
Well, here's the thing. I know nothing about it because
He knows nothing about it. He doesn't know about the actual financial fraud. He doesn't know Jeffrey Epstein, but he sure did make a lot of money off that house him and Epstein got into a fight about through the Russians. He doesn't even know who this person is. MAGA, are you seeing this? Something's really wrong here. And if Joe Biden, and when he said this, I said, just imagine Joe Biden acting and talking like this. You all will literally lose your minds, just like you did on the day that Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in the 2020 election. You were so angry about it, MAGA, that you decided to take off your hoods and go to the Capitol. Yeah, on January 6th and commit all kinds of crimes. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I do this. We have to warm up the lake of fire for Donald Trump because all he did during this entire CBS interview is lie to try to hide, obviously, the crimes. But what I want to really look at, though, is this. Let's look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Look at this. Look at those ankles. Why didn't CBS zoom in very close to these ankles? Yeah. The man's hiding something. Who sits in a chair like that? What grown man sits in a chair with their ankles wrapped around the thing unless they're hiding something? Yeah, I can see him too. MAGA doesn't have any answers for this. Who sits like that? Yeah, he's 6'3", 215 pounds. But he, for some reason, can't plant those ankles right out like this. He can't put the leg up and talk like this. He has to lean forward and lie to hide the truth about those disgusting ankles. And I could actually give you a closer look. Let me see if I can get that photo up of these ankles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is, you guys, you can learn a lot. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. There he is, right there. There them ankles are right there, ladies and gentlemen. Whose ankles look like that? Whose ankles look like that? The President of the United States? This ought to be a war crime. The man is unhinged. Yeah, I'm upset because this is a national security issue, MAGA. He's lying, hiding all these crimes he's committing. He's lying about his health. He's getting MRIs. He's taking the C-19 vaccine. All right, and he's allowed to just run basically reckless through the government, destroying the country, and you won't say a thing. I'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire once again. They report my live. They get on me because I tell the truth. Well, all I'm doing is exposing it so that people understand just how much danger we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Donald Trump and his supporters once again straight to hell. Yeah.
Silence, you MAGA.
And that's a huge W, Zeus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. I'm right on time, all right? So good morning, W, Valerie. Thank you. Yeah, look at him. The man is unhealthy. The man is sick. And CBS did not zoom in, and so they should sue Donald Trump for that $100 million that he said or whatever he got, $16 million. They need to get that back with interest and some. Now that I think about it, because how do you do an interview and you just don't zoom in on those ankles? Seriously. All right, let's move it along. Let's go to the audience real quickly because we don't got all morning to do this, ladies and gentlemen. Are there any Trump voters out there that are brave enough to get in the box and try to be very honest with us today? Because it's really at a point right now where we don't really need to debate a lot of things. The question is, are you okay? All right. And why you're not okay? Because for some strange reason, you can't admit that you're wrong. And you know you're wrong. You know what you're doing out there is wrong. You know, watching Donald Trump run around here and slam women and children down on the ground, zip tie them, even if they're American. You know that's wrong. But you'll still get out here and try to say, and you know their new excuse is, well, I don't like everything Donald Trump does. No. You say that when Joe Biden is in office, all right? What we're dealing with right now is war crimes. What we're dealing with is gaslighting at an unprecedented level. What we're dealing with is American citizens being harmed. All right? And what we want to know is, how do you call yourselves Christians in the middle of all of this? How is there something that's going on in the cult that you need to tell us that's preventing you from actually speaking your mind freely? All right. And so that's what I want to hear. If you're a Trump voter, put a 1 in the chat and we'll get right to you. All right. Right. They're going to leave right now. Watch this. People say I never lied. Thank you. Yeah, put a 1 in the chat. Where are you at? Tiny Tank Top Tim. I'm a little concerned about you because I've been connecting the dots with you, and I realize you are way out of your league in here trying to actually have an intelligent conversation. You're way out of your league, and so what needs to happen is you got to do your homework and you got to pass a few classes, perhaps. Then you can actually engage in a meaningful conversation with a lot of us. All right, that's a huge W, Zeus. We're not balanced, right? We're not balanced when we're talking, right? I ask you simple questions, and the answers you give, they're so profoundly ignorant. I don't even have a response for it in a lot of cases. I go, wow, you really think that low? You really don't? And so now I really would hope that you're actually taking the information that you're getting from platforms like this and going back and distilling it to the people who look up to you. And that's shocking, but it's true. There's people who look up to him, like MAGA Queen. I know she looks up to you, but you got a lot of power and you're abusing it. W Zeus. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Yeah, huge W. All right. Yeah, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Look at this. Yeah. And this doesn't shock me. It really doesn't shock me anymore. I know that the base is done. The only people that are supporting Donald Trump right now are the bottom of the barrel, low lives, and it's really because if you really think about it, they've developed, especially on this platform, they've developed a community amongst themselves, right? Thank you, Adele. They've developed a little bit of a community, and so what they're doing is they're trying to still try to be friends with each other, but they're holding in the pain right now. The pain that goes with upholding Donald Trump, which includes the white supremacy, right? But if you ask a majority of these Trump supporters, you know what they'll say? They'll say, Zeus, I'm in a lot of pain right now. Why? Oh, it could be for a variety of reasons. That you might have been negatively harmed as a result of the ICE raids, right? You remember that? The ICE raids and all that stuff. You might know people. You could be harmed, obviously, because maybe your pockets have been touching lately, right? Your water has been cut off, so to speak. All right. And they know it. All right. Or you know somebody whose water has been cut off. What else? Now you're going hungry. All right. And imagine the difficulty it would take. Imagine the difficulty it would take to get in the box, be a man, be a real woman, an adult, and say, hey, Zeus, and to the kingdom. As much as I don't like you, as much as I hate the stuff you've been saying, you know, you really did a number, you attacked me, you hurt my feelings. As much as that happened, to be honest with you, to keep it real, all of you, the Democrats, y'all are right. Yeah, and this is what the conversation should go like, MAGA. I realize that I was manipulated by misinformation and disinformation. I allowed my hatred, my insecurities to cloud my ability to make sound judgment. See, that's the conversation you Trump supporters know you need to have. That's called a come to Jesus, or a matter of fact, that's called a come to Zeus moment. A huge W. All right. Well, then you know what? All right, since MAGA is still a little afraid up here, we'll go ahead and get this show on the road. Good morning, brother Q Dog.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Oh man, not too bad. First of the month, the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
You know, we gonna get through it. A lot of our peoples that need that benefit at the beginning of the month, they're gonna get through it. Because we got plenty of people that will help.
Yeah.
You know, my fraternity is as one. Call on the bros. We got you. No problem.
Thank you. So you're saying that you are still, helping people out in the community.
Oh yeah.
Who you were always doing it since I've known you. You've always been that type of person. But what do you say about the folks who are going hungry right now? And then you got Blagga out there laughing at them going hungry. I did a video on that. And then I also wanted to talk to you because you saw last week we did that thing. I brought information about the Triple K. And you've been very vocal on this platform about the way the Triple K has basically taken over the MAGA movement.
We've been saying that since day one.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you're on the right side, we got you covered because a lot of people, especially with that's breast seed survivors or whatnot. My church, Word of Faith, Bishop Bronner, he has a lady that comes up a lot, the pink lady, and they take up donations or whatnot for people that survive that. And not only that, they take up canned food, food in the can drive to donate to people that are less fortunate or whatnot. Yeah. So it don't stop, MAGA, just because you come out here and you spew your rhetoric and you want to laugh at people. We got still got good people in the world.
Amen.
Take care of the ones that are less fortunate. Like I always say, God always take care of fools and babies, and a lot of y'all are not babies. So we gonna take care of the babies, whether they're old or young, no matter what.
That's true.
So keep doing what you're doing. You keep sowing that seed, that evil seed. It's gonna come right back around. We call that karma. That word karma. You put it out there in the universe to make fun of people that are less fortunate or whatnot. Pretty soon it's gonna be you that's gonna be in that slot, and we gonna remember faces and names. So keep doing what you're doing, MAGA. We ain't gonna stop this show. We are not gonna stop this show. I get up here and clown y'all all day long. Tiny Tank Talk Tim, you can't put two pennies together to make a sandwich, and you up here every day trying to say whatever you want to say that's against the right way to do things. All you want to do, you just like to hear yourself talk. I get that now. Every time you want to put a 1 in the chat to come up here, you just like to hear yourself talk. Because you ain't got nothing else better to do. Nothing better to do. You work in a dungeon if you still working there. You barely bringing home the bread. You need your wife to help you bring home a loaf of bread. Tells you a lot about yourself as a man. We see you all day, every day. You admit it. You need your wife to be able to support the household. You should be the one that's supporting your household. Anything extra your wife is bringing in, that should be extra on it where you can do things together. No, but you need her income in order to survive. But you up here every day talking about other folks in a glass house throwing rocks.
That's sad. That hurts me, Q Dog, because I know back in the day women, they were treated the way he treats his wife, and that was the way of life. you know, but they don't. I mean, and for him to be proudly, you know, not in my opinion, you know, men are supposed to work by the sweat of their brow, but you know, you hear stories like that, you just go, well, why are you doing that? You know, I mean, but that, you know, to each their own, right? I can't hate on it. That's their thing. That's their thing. But it's really unfortunate, and these people are actually wishing harm on the rest of the country at the same time. I don't get it. I don't.
Exactly. So if you don't know it, Tiny Tank Top Tim, and you still putting the ones in, just sit back and listen. No heavy lifting. 25K, that's below poverty level. That ain't that. You can't even pay all your bills in one setting the way the cost is today.
And inflation's going up.
Unless you living in a shack somewhere with no running water and you got an outhouse, that's the only way you surviving. Or you living in one of them government funded apartments that you work for.
And I want to say this to the audience. Normally, I don't like to go this deep with it, but this is a frequent flyer, Tiny Tank Top Tim. He comes to my show every day, Trump voter, total contrarian. Everything we're trying to do that's positive, he's going to figure out a way to just stick to it being a negative. And so what we got to do is we got to help people that are in that situation. And so what Q-Dog is speaking on, honestly, it needs to be said.
When he should be out there working a second job where his wife don't have to work as hard. Again, that tells us everything we need to know about you as a man. You can't even support your woman if you still have one.
That's a WQ dog right there. But he can get one if he really trusts in Jesus. He can really get a woman if he gives his life over to Jesus, the real Jesus. All right. And so could y'all pray for Tiny Tank Top Tim out there? Could y'all pray for him?
And you know what? You know what? As a good man, I'm gonna pray for you, bro. I'm gonna pray for you, Tiny Tank Top Tim, because you're lost.
He needs it.
At least I can say this. At least I can say Dame has the common sense to listen to me. You have no common sense whatsoever. You just living in your own little bubble world, thinking that you're just fine and dandy. Don't give a damn about anybody else. Excuse me, Mama Zeus. About how you affect people, who you affect, and why you affect them. So you got to answer those 3 questions on your own accord before you can talk about anybody else that's outside of your little bubble. So sit on that and take a sip on that for a little bit.
Right there. He could sit on it, and he's chewing on it. All right, and I want to ask the audience. I said, could y'all please pray for him? And I saw some of y'all saying y'all couldn't do it. Well, I'm gonna just ask the Lord to put it on your heart to do it. All right.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because God says to pray for fools and babies. And like I said before, we know you're not a baby. You have something in the back of your head that's not registering right away. The door is not opening, so you just stuck in the past, and you're allowing others to trigger certain aspects of your thought process on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So you're not a leader; you're a follower. Everything that Trump says, you follow it. Everything that MAGA says, you follow it.
Yeah.
Heck, everything that happens in this live, you follow it.
Yeah.
I have yet to see you go up on a platform and contribute to the good of humanity. When you see people out here, see, and I say this, I'm gonna land my plane, Zeus. See, I will say this when it came to people that were a part of that life called organized crime, such as, you know, the mob.
Yeah.
They had value. They didn't touch women and they didn't touch children.
True.
Anybody else could get it if you step in their way.
Yeah.
But you don't care who you step on. And you think that we should care when you're in trouble.
It don't work like
I'm going to
that.
let God handle you on that one. You put that in your pipe and puff on it.
Amen. Amen. All right, Q-Dog, ladies and gentlemen. That's Q-Dog giving a round of when you're right, you're right, bro. I appreciate you, all right?
Definitely, bro. Salute. You know, I'm always here if you need me in the background. I'm just sitting back, sipping on my tea, waiting on the MAGA to interrupt. And let me just come in, just let me pop off that chain a little bit.
Fair enough. W. WQ Dog. No lies detected. Yes. Salute to you too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. All right. So that's a huge W. Thank you. Let's go back to the audience. We got 1.4 thousand of you out there. You mean to tell me everybody in here is a Kamala voter? That's pretty interesting. Everyone in here supports Kamala Harris. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter and you want to get in the box and confess to all of us. You got it. You got 2 ways. Either you made a mistake or you still are going down the path of degradation. All right, let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. You're in the 92%. Oh, yeah. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. It doesn't take long. All right, well, you know what? It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. We'll just keep going along. Echo Chamber City. All right, W. Takesha, welcome. How you doing, Takesha? Good morning.
Okay,
how are you? I'm doing all right.
Listen, let me help Q Dog out right quick.
Okay.
It's one thing to listen and it's one thing to hear. You can listen all day, but if you're not hearing what you're listening, it's not doing any good. Dame listened to you, but he didn't hear you. Because there's no change in Dame. What Dame should have done was take some time off this app, fasted, then seeked what God had to say to him.
Amen.
But he didn't do that, so it didn't work.
Wow.
So yeah, he listened, but he didn't hear.
Wow.
The Bible says that they will not hear sound doctrine. It said they wouldn't listen to it. It said they would not hear sound doctrine, and that the very elect of them will be fooled.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Amen.
But Zeus,
Talk to him.
if welfare and food stamps were for black people, there would be no welfare and food stamps.
I see what you did when you just did what you did.
I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah, go ahead and say it again.
If welfare and food stamps were for black people, there would be no welfare and food stamps.
I like what you just did. And so what made you decide to say that? Because I know that went over a lot of folk, the Black Ahead space. But why would
I saw
you say
somebody say it and I said, you're absolutely correct. They not gonna have a program just for us.
Thank you.
That's what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing just for black people. So stop thinking that this is the black people's government assistance.
Bingo.
Because it's not.
Amen. W. Takesha. All right, you telling the God honest truth.
And let me say this, Zeus. Donald Trump said to the Republicans, get rid of the filibuster, use the nuclear option, pass the CR, and open the government. You know what that lets me know for the MAGA and Republicans?
What's that?
They're saying it's the Democrats that's holding the government shut down.
Yeah. What does it mean?
If the Republicans wanted to open it, they could. They got an option.
So why
the president finally put it out there that they got an option where they could open the government if they wanted to, Zeus.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
And why not, in your opinion?
Because they want to keep blaming the Democrats because they think that that's going to make the Democrats not have votes when it comes to the midterms. They don't care that people going to go hungry.
Nope.
They don't care that people not getting paid. As long as they can make the Democrats look bad, they good with that. Because guess who's still getting paid? Congress.
Trump still getting paid?
Why he round up like he DIY the White House. You round there acting like you on Flip My House.
Yeah.
You in there decorating like you ain't never leaving.
That's sad. Do you think, honestly though, Takesha, do you think that his supporters are suffering right now, but they got too much pride and don't want to admit it? Do you think that's really a thing?
Zeus. Of course they suffering.
Yeah.
They not exempt. They not the standard to the rule. We all are suffering.
Yeah.
And they are too. They ain't going to the grocery store and they just got a side that say for MAGA low prices.
Nope.
They ain't going to get their light bill out and it said this is MAGA's price. Everybody in the same boat. They just keep drilling a hole and don't realize they sinking with the rest of us.
That's true.
So
you laying it down like a carpenter, and it's so true. But I'm wondering though, why are they all so remotely silent as of late? You know, because remember when Trump won, they were running around here going, "We have a mandate." Remember that? And we had a lot of lives about that. But
Zeus, what can they say? What can they say to make anything make sense nowadays? Now you want to go over to Nigeria.
Oh,
talking about you gonna do that to the people that's persecuting the Christians. When Zeus, Christians being persecuted worse in other countries, you want these folks oil and resources.
Yeah.
That's all you want. You don't care because you persecuting the Christians. When you not feeding people that believe in God, you're persecuting the Christians. So how can you say something about them doing it in another country when you doing it here? When you starving people?
Yeah.
When you making it where they can't pay their bills?
Yeah.
You're persecuting the Christians, Trump.
You know you're going to get into a lot of trouble, Takesha, with the Christians out there.
Let me explain
They don't
something.
like it when you talk about them like that.
Let me explain something to you, Zeus.
Okay.
That's why I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a follower of Christ. Because everybody take on the term Christian and nobody knows what it means. You want to be a Christian nationalist. You don't add nothing to your Christianity. Why you got to add nationalism to your Christianity? Jesus don't need no help. They play too much for me.
Yeah.
And that's why this world is in the shape it's in now. Because they playing saved and they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let them have it, though, Zeus.
You doing right. You telling the truth. Well, listen, I appreciate that, Takesha, because you didn't have to get up here and give them that gospel that you just gave them. But you gave it to them, and I know it's sitting heavy on their souls right now. They black souls, what's left of them. All right.
Exactly, Zeus. Have a great one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, W Takesha in the chat. No lies detected. Yeah. You see, ladies and gentlemen, what we've done on this show, and this is why I say, and you know they're terrified right now. You got all these special elections and elections going on throughout the country right now, and the Democrats, they're performing higher than Trump expected them, MAGA expected them to, and all of their strategies to try to get people to stop supporting Democrats, they're starting to, come out, and people are like, we're not falling for that anymore. Yeah, we might have an issue with, X, Y, and Z perhaps, but that issue is a very small matter as it relates to my immediate needs, which is I need to be able to provide for myself and my family. All right. How you tell somebody that's not getting their paycheck right now, you're not getting paid right now, but guess what? There's only two genders. You think that bill collectors are going to let that fly as an excuse for why you didn't have your money? I don't got your money. I don't got your rent money. I don't got the mortgage money. I don't got the money for the car. But guess what? There's only two genders. That's not working anymore, MAGA. Hatred isn't. You can't fill your gas tank up with hatred. You can't feed your family with hatred. And at a certain point, the rubber needs to meet the road. And look at where we're at right now, MAGA. Look at where you're at right now. That's why y'all can't get up in the box and defend this stuff that's clearly indefensible, all right? And it doesn't take long to do it. All right, good morning, Brother Val. Welcome.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Nice. You been all right? I haven't heard from you in a while. I think maybe it's been a week.
Been busy.
Oh, okay.
Been busy.
As long as you're taking care of yourself and staying out of the way, right?
Exactly. I wanted to talk about something because you just talked about people not getting paid.
Yeah.
And you remember the name Paul Walzak?
Paul Walzak? No. Have I talked to him?
Nope. Paul Walzak was pardoned by Donald Trump.
Oh, he was.
back in May. Okay, and this story did not get near enough traction. The story made news, but not for the reasons that it really should have. Okay, anybody that keeps up with this know that Paul Walzak was pardoned by Donald Trump 3 days after his mom paid $1 million to go to the dinner for Donald Trump.
Huh.
Remember that story?
Yeah.
Back in May? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a part of the story that wasn't told. Okay. And this is something I really wasn't aware of when it came to pardons, but it's restitution.
Trustitution.
Restitution.
Oh, restitution. Okay.
Okay. When Paul was pardoned, he no longer had to pay his restitution. $4.4 million in restitution. Now let's talk about what Paul did.
What did he do?
Paul ran a nursing home, scammed a nursing home, patients, nurses, everything like that, for $11 million. Paul pled guilty for that crime and was sentenced to 4 years and $4.4 million in restitution for his employees and everything like that. A day, his pardon came a day before that restitution was due. Okay? When that happened, those employees, those people that were scammed by a man that actually pled guilty for the crime, did not get their restitution. In other words, employees didn't get paid.
Wow.
People that were scammed didn't get their money back. This is what's sitting right behind you right now.
This guy.
A man that took $1 million from this person's mom and then pardoned him after he pled guilty.
Wow. This is unprecedented. I've never heard of anything like this in my life, Val. So basically, it's another instance in which the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer at the hands of Donald Trump.
Correct. Donald Trump now took money from victims. I want people to understand that.
Wow.
That man in that picture took money from victims of a crime.
Where's the outrage? What would they do if Joe Biden did this, do you think, Val? What do you think the outrage would be if President Biden would have done anything?
Oh, they lost their minds.
What if Obama did it?
Yeah, again, lost their minds. They would have had, and I would have been mad too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If you'd have taken $4.4 million from nurses, doctors, people that clean up the hospital, people that take care of the elderly, and you took $4.4 million from them, pled guilty for it, had the funds to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
When your mom goes to the president of the United States, gives him $1 million. None of the victims saw that $1 million. Gave him $1 million to pardon your son where he no longer had to pay that $4.4 million. Guys, that is what's behind you. When we say he's a con man, that is what we're talking about. This is why Democrats are mad.
Yeah.
Okay? And for the, yes, I'm glad he came out and expressed his need to use the nuclear option to get the government back open.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. And I want to make this real clear. If he uses that nuclear option, he opens the government back up. And then we start going. I do not want to hear a single person, MAGA or otherwise, come up here and yell about their insurance cost, because it is going to go through the roof immediately. That is what's going to happen when that goes through. And if you sit down there and you think that any Democrat is going to sign off on that, you're lost.
Bingo. It's already going up, Val. I've got a lot of people who.
I went up. I talked about this the other day.
Oh, really?
My own personal insurance. I'm in my sign-up page right now, most people are in this country. And my own personal insurance went up 35%. Okay? Now, our company, being the company that I work for, took care of half of that.
But still.
Yeah. Okay, they took care of half of that, but I still got that increase in my insurance. People that are out there thinking that this is not going to happen and insurance companies aren't going to take advantage of this and trying to say this falls on the Democrats, you're wrong. if the subsidies would have been kept in place,
Yeah. But
they'd have ran for another 6 months and this could have been negotiated.
Tiny Tank Top Tim, your insurance did go up. You're just too blind to realize how it's gone up. But next time you go to the doctor and they give you a bill, trust me, you'll understand what I'm saying. Don't say stuff like that. You're just showing your ignorance.
I will put it together and show you my increase, Mr. Tim. Okay, I will show you mine because 13%, even or 14% is what I'm going to end up having to pay. 14% is a big increase.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know what? The rest of that for my company is a drain on my company as well.
Yeah.
Okay. These are the things that, Tim, you don't think about. This is what you voted for, Tim. But I'm glad you went to the insurance part of it and didn't say a damn word about him taking money out of Americans' mouths.
Bingo.
Real glad you did that.
Bingo. W Val. Yeah. And I know Tiny Tank Top, he doesn't have insurance, but he's still going to pay the premium once he decides to go, because he already told us he went in and he got hit with a $25,000 insurance bill. I promise you, in a year or two, maybe even in next year, you'll go in there and you try to get that same thing, it's going to be an easy $30,000-$40,000.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. You're going to pay. They're going to get it out of you, bro, one way or another. Trust me, they know how to do this. You're new to this. They know how to deal with people like you. Trust me, you're not getting over.
And as a Democrat or an American person, if any Democrat were to sign off on this bill, were to sign off and actually give in and cave, they'd be done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where it's at right now. And don't you think it's necessary at this moment, Val? Because I had some conversations and they said all we need is 5 Democrats to go along with us on this. This is the angle they're trying to play. But isn't the principle...
You want 5 Democrats that no longer want to run for office again. That's what you're asking for.
It's that serious. It's that serious out here. It really is. And I would say if that's the reason, then I go, well, what's the Republican reason for not opening the government, right? Because at least that's a noble cause, right? If they want to say that it's because of, the Democrats made it clear that it's about health care, what's the Republican reason for why they won't open the government?
Well,
what are they standing for? You know what I mean?
They're standing on, there's several things going on, right? One, they're trying to use as an excuse not to bring in the last House member.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to bring in the House member. They're trying to use that as an excuse. That legal challenge did not work well for them, though. That's going downhill for them fast.
Yeah.
So that's gonna end. They're going that route. They're not, we all know this has to do with the e-files, right? We all know that they don't want that released, and we all know when that last House member shows up into Congress, she's going to sign that paper, and they will get released.
Yeah.
And then it gets to go through the committees, and we get to see what we get to see, right? So, but that is what we're talking about here. That is what they're trying to protect at the expense of the American people. They've had the capability for this option from day one. They haven't used it. We're day 30. We're day what? 35, 30 something or 30,
34. I think
34.
It's 34.
Yeah, 34. We're day 34 into this, and they have not chose to use this. This is their problem, people, and this is why it is shut down. They do not want this open as long as they can delay, because they don't want to bring that House member in, which is against the law.
Yeah.
Again, subverting the Constitution of this country.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're done with it. You wonder why he's down to 37 or 36% or even 34% in some polls? This is why. The American public is done with this man's vendetta on the American way of life.
Amen.
And when it comes down to it, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the American people. We're not talking about half the country. They want to change the American way of life in the story. They want to turn this into a theocracy, not a democracy.
Bingo.
They want the church to control everything, and we are done with it.
Yeah.
This is exactly the danger of the church that Thomas Jefferson talked about.
Yeah. Preach on it, Val. W. Val. Well, listen, bro. As always, you cooked and you booked. All right.
Thanks, Zeus. Thank you,
I appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W. Val No lies. No lies detected. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten out there and I voted too. Yeah, I voted yes on Prop 50, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take long to do the right thing and stand up for this great country of ours. Easy W. Good morning, Brother Nutty.
Good morning. Good morning. Before I get started, Zeus, can I give a heartfelt thank you to you and everyone in the kingdom for what you guys did on Friday for my birthday?
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
really appreciate that. I don't know if you guys heard me, but I said earlier on in the week, that entire week, whatever came in coins, that I was going to match that, and that
Good.
I was going to be donating that to my local organization that's giving out food to people in my community.
Good.
And so I was able to write a $200 check because of you.
Amen. Wow. They love you, Nutty. I mean, and they love you because of the knowledge, not necessarily because of the looks. And you
Well, I'm handsome
understand
too,
that. You understand how that works, but it's good. It's good.
but listen, no, I really wanted to thank you because, I know $200 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have nothing, it's a lot.
It is. Thank you. It is a
It's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to thank the kingdom because, yes, even though when I wrote the check had my name on it, it was because of y'all.
Amen.
So thank all of you who donated. I appreciate it. And more importantly, the people who have food in their stomach, they appreciate it even more.
Good,
So
good.
again, shout out to the kingdom. Shout out to all of you out there. And let's just keep being reminded that we are indeed our brother's keeper. Even people like 5X who are too ignorant to understand how government works, who is too ignorant to understand. Well, he understands it. He's just that selfish.
Yeah.
What we're looking at in this moment is selfishness. That it's all about me, or I. What can you give me? Here's the thing. Because Friday, yes, was Halloween, but it was also payday for millions for people. And I guarantee you, those people who got a paycheck on Friday, if you open up your pay stubs and look at your pay stub, what's still coming out of that paycheck? FICA, Medicare, Medicaid, SALT tax.
Yeah. Stay local.
It's still coming out even though the government is shut down. So my question to you is, why do we keep talking about people who need help when they are literally getting money that's being redistributed that the government took out of their paycheck?
Amen.
Even when they were working, they've already paid into the system. So what the government is doing is not doing them a favor. It's giving them some of their investment back when they need it the most.
Boom.
That is not government handout because we are the government. We are the people, for the people, by the people. I have a question for you, Zeus. You
Go
seem
for
like
it.
a smart individual.
I try to be.
So please answer this with your heartfelt heart, okay?
Yeah.
Where does the government get its money?
From we the people.
So therefore, Zeus, if the government gets their money from us, how can the government give us a damn thing?
They can't.
The only thing they give us is anxiety and heartburn.
W Nutty in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. He's preaching.
So we have to stop. We have to stop attacking people who are on EBT. We have to stop attacking people who are on Section 8.
Yeah.
Who are getting Medicare, Medicaid. We have to stop because the people who are on these programs, they're getting their money back.
Bingo.
If
And
you
one-
don't want them to get that money, then the government needs to stop taking it out of their checks, and maybe, just maybe, they will have enough to start a savings account.
Talk to him.
Just maybe.
Talk to him. Let him
We
know,
have
Nutty.
to stop. We have to put our anger towards the people that it's rightfully deserving of. People like Elon Musk. People like Jeff Bezos. People like Mark Zuckerberg. These people who are billionaires are stealing our money because they're becoming billionaires off the labor, off the backs of Us working folk.
Boom.
They're not giving you a fair wage. But yet we still sit here and say, oh, you're just mad because they're rich and you're not. No, I'm not counting nobody's bag.
Amen.
What I am saying is this. They cannot become a billionaire without stealing the labor that comes from us, the people.
That part.
We're constantly working, breaking our backs, breaking our necks. And what? I told you all last week, the largest employer in the United States is Walmart, and 70% of the people who work for Walmart are on EBT. Make it make sense, folks.
Yes. They don't want to admit that, Nutty. They don't want to acknowledge that a lot of people, especially people that they look up to, depend on the government, and they've demonized a person getting support from the government. It's bizarre. I don't know how they feel like that's a good thing to do. And it also just shows how much hate they truly have in their heart, if you ask me.
Listen, I make fun of my big brother Q all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use his words today. No heavy lifting. No heavy lifting. It really is that simple.
Yeah.
If you have Walmart, 70% of its employees working and are on EBT, do y'all not see the problem?
Bingo.
The problem, it's not the people. It's not the people who are working. It's the employer who are not paying them.
That part.
But yet then they'll say, well, they can just go out and get a better job.
How?
I don't understand.
We have more people, more people than there are jobs right now. Am I right? I think that's the number that
you're absolutely correct.
Okay, yeah. So it's not that easy, and then it's not like every job that's available you're gonna go out and be making six figures or more. There's a lot of people in this country that are struggling for a variety of reasons. That's why I don't believe giving tax cuts to the billionaires will translate into, people like Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom turning around and making six figures. It just doesn't work like that, right?
Zeus, what's crazy is we have enough wealth in this country alone where everyone could make six figures.
Yeah.
We have enough wealth in this country. However, if that were to occur, then there wouldn't be billionaires, and they're never going to allow that to happen.
Bingo.
There would never be a need for EBT. There would never be a need for Section 8. We have enough wealth in this country to literally take care of our people. Isn't that the reason why we pay taxes? We pay taxes to be taken care of. So I'm going to end right here because I'm sure you got plenty of people in your box.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's a light day. It's really a light day. So we've done an outstanding job today, destroying the demon. Plus, I got reported too, so that could actually be an issue. Well, but it is what it is.
Listen, one more thing. I need you all to realize that tomorrow, y'all got to get out there and vote tomorrow. Tomorrow is election day all across this land. Now, some of you, like for instance, in my election here, I'm only going to be voting on one thing. But I'm still going to get out there and vote on that one thing.
Yeah.
Get out there and vote. Some of you are voting for governor.
Yeah.
Some of you are voting for city council, school board, mayor. And I'm talking to you, Virginia. Virginia, I need you to get out there and vote for Abigail. I'm talking to you, Virginia. I'm talking to you, New York City.
Talk to him.
I want you to get out there and vote for this democratic socialist. Because you all made these words so triggering and so bad.
Yeah.
But if you actually go and define the word, then come talk to me and tell me what you don't agree with. Because Mandami, what he wants New Yorkers to be able to get around the city without going broke. He wants New Yorkers to be able to get around the city safely. He wants New Yorkers to have food in their stomach. He wants New Yorkers to have shelter over their head. What is so wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, a lot of people are scared to say they support Mamdani, but you got to do what you got to do in order to save this great country. Either you're going to support someone who's obeying the rule of law and has great ideas to help everyday Americans through whatever it is, or you're going to continue to support a convicted felon who obviously is hell-bent on destroying the country. The choice is simple, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's just tell the truth. They don't want him because he's a Muslim. Let's just tell the truth.
Is that really what it is?
They don't want him because he's a Muslim. I watched his press conference last week over there at the mosque.
Yeah.
I watched his press conference. The man, listen.
It's always racism.
I am not a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. But you know what? If I lived in New York City, you are absolutely sure that I would be voting for Mandami.
Yeah, it's that simple. The candidates that they got, they're not proposing, as far as I'm concerned, and I watched the debate, doing a great job, and I can't understand why Donald Trump is so worked up. As a matter of fact, it made me angry when he said he's not even going to give the state of New York money. He said he can't give them money because of this. What a disgrace, right? That's totally un-American.
This is your money, y'all, that he's talking about. Meanwhile, on Halloween, he hosted the Great Gatsby Halloween party at Mar-a-Lago that cost you $3.5 million while the government is shut down, while he's taking and stealing money and taking it out of children's, because they like to get up here and say, protect the children.
Yeah.
Protect the children. He's taking food out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And spending $3.5 million on a Halloween party and entitle it A Little Party Never Killed Anyone. The devil is a lie.
Hit him with it, Nutty. Hit him with it. Now, Q-Dog said he wants to talk to you.
Y'all have smoke for the wrong things. Y'all have smoke for the wrong things. As of Wednesday, this will be the longest shutdown in the United States history. The longest shutdown in U.S. history if it occurs to Wednesday.
Yeah.
And yet, during this time, this man has spent over $1 trillion. Hey, Q, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Wow.
Hey, I didn't get a chance to say happy birthday to you, man, for on Friday.
Oh, look at that.
But I want everybody to acknowledge what we have on this panel, the power of the black man that's on this panel. We got Zeus on here. We got the beginning, Nutty, with Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yes, sir.
The ending, Omega Psi Phi. This is the reason why we do what we do. Because people will not understand, and no matter what fraternity or sorority that you may or may not be a part of, this is the reason why we do this as a brotherhood. When times like this happen.
Yeah.
When we have people on the outside trying to look in to see what we're doing to make this world a better place. And see, you as an individual don't have to be a part of a fraternity or a sorority. You could be an individual. I don't know if Zeus is a part of fraternity or not. But he's an individual trying to make change for the better. When you got people out here that are breeding and breathing hatred, animosity, and just pure evil. You got people like us that try to come together to get you to understand that this is the way God wants this to happen. He wants us to step in and not always wait on him as a people. Like I said, he gives you an idea and an opportunity to know right from wrong. And a lot of y'all know right from wrong when y'all see ICE agents slamming women and children down and taking food out of people's mouths. We're coming up on a month where it's Thanksgiving. Now, there's two ways to look at Thanksgiving. The real reason for Thanksgiving, the holiday, we know what they did to the Indians. But then in your subconscious mind, you know what Thanksgiving is in your heart to say, I thank God and I thank my family for being able to live another day, to be able to feed my family and feed my friends. If somebody is in need, I could feed a friend. But a lot of people don't get that. They're so selfish and within themselves. It takes men like me, Nutty, and Zeus to remind you what the true meaning of Thanksgiving is. If you don't get it by now and you in your adult life, you will never get it. Or you just choose not to get it.
True.
For this man to come up on here and wish for nothing but the betterment and to give back on his birthday, what does that tell you as far as a person with humanity in his heart or her heart? God gave us a mind to decide to think what's best for us and what is right, and to follow the righteous and follow who is doing God's work. To me, what Nutty did, that is God's work. How many of you all in MAGA land can say that? It's easy to, a friend of mine said this, that two lips can say anything, but it's the work that you put in. See, when me and Nutty, and I'm quite sure he can collaborate on this, we have a pledge process. When we're pledging, that's not when the work starts or ends. The work begins after you become a bruh. When you get out into the streets, I seen a video, and I'm gonna land my plane on this. I seen a video of a guy in New York that said for an hour, telling all the homeless people, you go up here to this food stand, get whatever you want. It's on me. People coming up to him saying, "Oh, are you a rapper? Are you?" He said, "No, I'm just me, man. Whatever. Are you serious? Are you for real? Yeah. Get whatever you want to eat."
Wow.
And you have people crying.
Good. Humanity at work.
It's still showing that good people are on this earth. But you're going to be tested on a day-to-day basis when you have people that come up here. And I keep going to this one individual because I need him to understand and get it. Not to pick on him, but Tiny Tank Top Tim. I need you to understand. And it's no joking matter. It's a reason why we say what we say. It was a reason why I kept trying to drill it into Dame. It's a reason why I kept trying to drill it into Wildman. See, the thing is, you have a mindset to say, you know what? Hey, I respect. Wildman said out his mouth, "I respect you, Q." His son, DJ, "I respect you, Q." For the first time. But then the devil started creeping in the back door. Just like when Jesus was praying in the garden. What are you going to do for these people? You can't save these people. See, the devil has a way to try to get into your mindset to try to take you off of your path and take you off of your mission. And I'm talking to you, MAGA. I'm talking to you because I know it's some good people. They just chose the wrong path.
That part. Well, listen, you two, Big Zeus got to get up out of here. All right.
Exactly, bro.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to Q Dog and Nutty. All right, because that's some words of advice for your behind. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now Big Zeus has to get up out of here. Oh wow. Hold on. I think Kabira, you said you wanted to speak and say something on the low. Where do you got? Good morning, Kabira. How you doing, sis? Speak and say something.
Yeah, good morning, Zeus.
Good
How
morning.
you doing?
I'm all right. You?
I'm all right.
All right.
Hey, so Zeus, I'm in a situation, right? It's not really me, but I guess it is me too. So this past Friday, my brother, he's an Air Force veteran, and he went to the VA. He had to have a hip replaced, and usually that's considered major surgery, believe it or not. And usually they'll keep you 10 days to 2 weeks. They're releasing him today. So when I talked to him yesterday, I told him, I said, he goes, if I stay longer, and this is all because of Trump, right? This is all because of Trump. So now I told him, I said, well, he goes, if they say I have to stay, because it used to be, all right, when I had my knee replaced last year, my stay in the VA was free. My stay in the rehab was free. Biden was in there, and presidents before, even Trump and Trump 1.0, those guardrails were in place, so he just couldn't run amok and destroy things. You know what I mean? So now I told him, I said, well, he goes there because my brother, he was on disability because he had prostate cancer, as you know, I told you about that. And he made it through his prostate cancer. And that was no expense, nothing, the hospital, everything, right? So he had to go on disability, and now he's off of disability, and he's older than me, so he's on Social Security. Anyway, they want to charge him $95 a day. Now, I know to a lot of people, $95 a day is nothing, but he's on Social Security. So I told him, I said, well, I'll pay it. Just see if they'll let you stay for at least a good 10 days, because that's how I ended up getting blood clots when I had my left hip replaced. I said, I'm going to just stay here for 3 days. Came home. There they'll have the physical therapist work with you, get you up out of that bed, pump you up with pain medication, and work whatever joint, whatever they're doing, they work with it. Well, I decided to come home for 3 days, ended up with blood clots, ended up in intensive care for like a week. You know what I mean? So now I have to go pick him up, and just it's just not right what Trump's doing. It's just not right. You understand? I told them I would pay the $95 a day. However long he has to stay there, I will pay it. But it's like I don't get it with the VA anymore. The services are just going downhill, and it's because of Trump and the people that voted for this character.
Wow.
So that's the
that's
spot
unfortunate, Kabira. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad to hear. It makes me sad to hear that Donald Trump is once again disrespecting our men and women in uniform, and his supporters. They continue to cheer this stuff on, even though they know at the end of the day this could harm them, because even if they didn't directly serve, chances are they know people who have served that are going to be harmed. So it's just a sad state of affairs, and I do believe the poll numbers aren't right, but I think it's actually a lot worse than the poll numbers are suggesting, because I don't know who they're polling, but I know a majority of Americans with common sense, they don't approve of what Donald Trump is doing, Kabira. I'm sorry that this is happening to you, honestly.
Yeah, they're not, it's like, well, my mother's 94, okay? So
Right.
my mother stays with us, right? So now I have two people I have to take care of, right? My mother, I don't mind, don't get me wrong, but my mother and my brother. Physically, my brother, because I have to make his meals, make sure he does his physical therapy here at the house, right? And then my
Right.
mother, by being 94, she doesn't get around like she used to at 84.
Yeah.
So, I have to cook all of her meals, make sure she gets her medication. They cut off her food stamps because she was on food stamps, even though she stays with me. I tell my mother all the time, I say, Ma, I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. You took care of me when I was a child. I don't mind taking care of you, but they at that after a person has lived so long and they're used to being independent. You understand what I'm saying? So he wanted her food stamps, which is no problem. I'll cover now the cost of her eating and my brother eating. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna hang in there, Zeus. I know. What did I tell you the other day? 5 to 7 months. So Takesha,
That's an
some
inside
things
joke.
need getting rid of. 5 to 7 months.
That's an inside joke, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and it goes right back to those ankles. All right. Well, listen, Kabira, I appreciate you. All right, sis. And as always, let's keep up the great work at bringing Trump's poll numbers back to earth where they belong. All right.
Oh, one more thing, Zeus. November the
Sure.
25th through November the 25th through December the 2nd, it is a national blackout. Folks, if you have to shop, do it all before November the 25th.
Absolutely.
Do not shop anywhere, be it grocery store, unless it's a mom and pop small business. Don't give any of these corporations, Walmart, Albertsons, or Kroger's, or Safeways, or wherever you live, Amazon, whomever. Don't give them any of your money because we, the people, hold the power. And the main power is the power of the purse.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen. Thank you for the PSA announcement, too. Yes. I love you and appreciate you. All right. Well, listen. Oh, my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we survived. Oh, my God. Oh, sorry, Kabira. My bad. I thought you were done. But listen, we survived alive. I've been on restriction the whole time. All right. So, obviously this means MAGA is still in their feelings. But you know what? We survived it and we did a great job getting the truth out there. Yes. Make sure you do participate in those special elections and do all you can. Lady boss, thank you. Do all you can. Thank you. Because whether they want to admit it or not, a lot of people understand that what it takes to save America, whether you like the Democrats or not, are the Democrats, all right? And we're going to keep doing what we can do to save this country. And a lot of us, we know if you go after our health care, you're basically saying, you know what, I'm going after your life, all right? And so this is why the Democrats, we're not going to go ahead. I hope they don't do anything until the Republicans do their job and agree to extend the health care credits. Other than that, it's a death sentence for a lot of people in this country, and we're not going for it, all right? Just like these small hospitals in these rural parts of the country, you look on the news, these small hospitals, they're shutting down because of the big, beautiful bill and all the harm that it's unleashed on America, all right? And then you layer that with what ICE is doing. You layer that with Donald Trump's tariffs. Donald Trump is bad news, and America is waking up, ladies and gentlemen. And so with that, we're going to wrap things up. I want to give all of you and the audience a huge round of applause, all right? Because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. Definitely entertaining, but definitely educational and engaging, all right? But on that note, I'm also going to give my last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to the Zeus haters out there, and they know exactly who they are. We've totally obliterated MAGA on this platform, ladies and gentlemen. They have nothing left. They have really nothing left. At the end of the day, they know that what they're doing by supporting Donald Trump from this point forward, actually a long time ago, is equivalent to treason, seditionist, treasonous conspiracy. And in short order, they will be exposed because, we don't believe that Donald Trump is a king. All right. And we will hold him accountable at the ballot box. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him one last round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. MAGA is done. And yes, vote yes on Prop 50 if you're out here in California.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
We're out of here. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. What a show. This is my jam. Lady Boss. Hey, by the way, y'all heard Tiny TikTok Tim's feelings. He stopped putting one, he stopped putting that one in the comment section. He's getting a little weak with it. I can't do it anymore. You guys cooked him. Hey. Have a great rest of your morning. Huge W.
Where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, lean, money making machines on your feet.
Hey, let's go. WVIP, I love it, thank you.
It's all good from Diego to the Bay. The city is the bomb if the city make it bang. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down with
WR, let's go. Get out there and vote. What? Don't boo. Vote. Isn't that what Obama said? You gotta give it up to Obama. Hey, Viper. You don't know anything, Viper. Stick to doing what you do. If it wasn't for us, Viper, you wouldn't have the ability to vote. So you need to zip it. No, we ain't cheating. You haven't seen cheating yet. Hey. What Yes, on Prop 50 WZena. Y'all see, we wore these magazines out. They ain't got nothing. Bumping and grinding like a slow jam. So you know I'm roll down to no man. Say what you say. VIP. From Oakland to Sacktown, the Bay Area and back down. Cali is where they put their Mac down. Give me love. California is a failed state. You don't get music like this without California. Mega, relax. You don't get all the greatness. Shout out to the Dodgers. You don't get all that greatness. Mega has lost their mind. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great